Welcome to Inner Peace Arts Unscripted. I'm your host, James Coleman. I'm a writer and coach on personal development, spirituality, and social change. You can check out my blog at innerpeacearts.wordpress.com, Facebook at innerpeacearts1, and Twitter at innerpeacearts1. That's innerpeacearts, one word with a number 1. Today's topic is the notion, we're going to start off with the notion of private religion and what that means, its implications, and how we can go about using that to make personal development changes, perhaps maybe some spiritual changes, and perhaps some social change. We'll see where it goes. But the first thing I wanted to share about the notion of private religion is one that's become more and more popular. It's expressed often in the notion that, I believe in God, but I don't believe in church. And it's also expressed in the notion of I'm spiritual, but not religious. I think both of these have implications of a very private kind of experience for spirituality that doesn't have a related public face. So first of all, I would argue that there is always a public expression of private feelings, of certain kinds of private feelings. There's some expression. So for example, if we talk about gender, right? Your feelings about gender and gender relations can be private, right? But your gender is a public expression, right? I mean, unless we go about changing our physical, masking ourselves so it's not possible to tell male and female, they're pretty evident in the public realm, and thus have regulations regarding interactions between men and women. There's certain things that you're not allowed to do in public. Every culture seems to have these kinds of rules, and I think they have some place, right? There's certain things that maybe just shouldn't be done in people, to people, in public. Of course, that could be arguments against that, but I think in general there are rules for gender expression. And I think the same goes with private religion. And in fact, I'm thinking that our private feelings about religion and keeping them private separate us from connecting with others on that level, because we think that it has to be private and that I can't, it's not right to publicly connect with because the feelings are private, and I should be able to define them for myself, etc. My argument with this from a social change perspective is that some of the most powerful feelings available happen when private religious feelings happen in a group, and thus they're no longer private, but they're public. And there is a group spiritual experience that is very powerful. And I think this is part of what's, ancient cultures, that's what they had. I mean, religion was everything, and it was a very powerful force in people's lives. And I think that the loss of that is a loss of connection with what it means to have a shared experience with other people. I mean, we've replaced it now with concerts and sporting events and movies in some ways. And so this connects us to the idea of culture creators as the drivers of that public experience, okay? And by separating the private experience from the public experience, it leaves the power to create the agenda of the public religion in the hands of other people. So in other words, what it does is it takes away from your power to influence the public realm. Now let's think about that for a moment. I think that's a very powerful idea. That your decision to privatize your religion actually takes away from your ability to impact the public realm. And the public realm influences you greatly. It's why you go to work. It's why you follow the rules. It's why you have what products are available to you and what are not. It's how you relate to the government. It's how you educate your kids. This is serious stuff. This notion of private religion, and I'm not saying that there is no such thing as privacy, okay? And I'm not saying that there's no such thing as private feelings and private religion. But what I'm saying is that there's an aspect of private religion that is public, just like there's an aspect of gender that is public. And being public, there are shared rules, shared ways of going about it to help others just be who they are, right? And I'm sure there's some gender study professional out there who could, provide more details on the gender side. But I'm really just talking about this notion of private religion and the part of it that extends into the public realm, that is related to what we call civil society and how it works. And that the lack of part, that to separate out and say, well, it's private and I don't want to have anybody else involved with it, I don't want to talk about it with anybody else, actually takes away from your ability to influence the public. It's why you pay taxes. So if you're complaining about taxes, well, part of the reasons why you're paying taxes the way you are is that your private religious feelings and the power therein are not able to influence in the public realm. And I think we underestimate how powerful that can be. People can do amazing things in groups, I'll put it that way. And to deny one of the most powerful aspects of that power and wielding that power is one that, it sets you back, keeps your agenda from moving forward. And so part of what I do here is start to provide a realm for a new discussion on the relationship between my private feelings, my private religion, and its necessary public expression, because it's going to have one. Now, I don't want to confuse this with, things that we do in private, right? I'm not talking about regulating what we do in private as much as I'm trying to access that part of the private life that influences the public life and set that straight so that we have a public life that's more to our liking than the one that currently is. I don't claim that this is perfect, but I do claim that this idea and moving it forward is better. So this has been, I think, a very interesting Inner Peace Arts unscripted episode. And I hope that it has been, of course, thought-provoking and driving you to find fellowship in these eyes, either with me and whoever I know and whoever's gathering around these ideas, or you find somebody else and you talk with them. I really don't care. It's really a matter of getting this idea out there and it being making manifest a different kind of public life. So this has been James Coleman, Inner Peace Arts Unscripted, and you can email me also at innerpeacearts@protonmail.com. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka, Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. Have a great day.